How much do we know what Kriyas Yamsuf is and how actually the split of the sea took place? Let's start with a question. Why do we mention Kriyas Yamsuf every day in Shachris and in Ma'ariv? We'll begin with a Medrash. The Medrash says in Parsha Vayera, the Medrash says that when Avram was told to go to the Akedah, Vayevake atzei ha'oila, he himself took logs and he chopped them in half. And since it says atzei ha'oila, so the Medrash says it wasn't one log, minimum 2 logs that he split in half. Says the Medrash, b'schus of Avram splitting the logs, following the rules of the Eibishter, in that schus, his descendants, the Eden, the water would split for them. And it's like a Gzera Shaveh, because it says by Avram Avinu, Vayevake atzei ha'oila, and by Kriyas Yamsuf it says, Vayiboku hamayim, the same expression. So we learned that the schus of the Kriyas Yamsuf that the Eden had was the schus of Avram Avinu. We know whatever we do is the schus of our parents. And whatever we do good, our children will have the schus for that as well. There's a Medrash Rabbi Parsha B'Shalach that asks, why do we mention Kriyas Yamsuf by Shachris and by Ma'ariv? And the Medrash says, true, Yitzias Mitzrayim you have to mention. And if you don't mention Yitzias Mitzrayim, you have to repeat Kriyas Shema. But if you don't mention Kriyas Yamsuf, you don't have to repeat it. But nevertheless, you have to mention Kriyas Yamsuf in Shachris and in Ma'ariv. Why? Says the Medrash, because by Kriyas Yamsuf, the pasuk tells us, that's when the Eden received their true emunah, their belief in Hashem. Vayaminu b'Hashem u'v'Moshe avdoi happened by Kriyas Yamsuf. So when we come for davening and we're standing in front of Hashem to asking davening to the Eibishter, we remind ourselves, where did we get originally the emunah? We are the ma'aminim, b'nei ma'aminim. But where did we get the emunah? We got that from the time of Kriyas Yamsuf. Another explanation is given that before we're going to daven Shemoneh Esrei, which part of Shemoneh Esrei we're asking for ourselves, Refo'einu, heal our sick people, Baruch Aleinu, give us sustenance, parnasa. So a person might think, I'm in a difficult situation for parnasa, and what am I asking for? So we tell ourselves before we start davening Shemoneh Esrei, remind yourself of Kriyas Yamsuf. The Eibishter can do anything. He could split seas for you. And as the Gemara tells us, sometimes kosher parnasa ki Kriyas Yamsuf. So when you want to ask from the Eibishter a bakosher or tchina or whatever you're going to ask for, don't think it's too much to ask, because the Eibishter is powerful to do anything. He can split the seas for whatever we ask for. So let's start now where we see where do we mention Kriyas Yamsuf and davening. Every day in Shachris, after Kriyas Shema, in the paragraph starting from Ezras Aviseinu, we say there, the Yamsuf lehem bakaita. We say that the Eibishter, you split for them the Yamsuf. V'zeidim tibaita, the wicked people, you drown there. The Yedidim, your favorite people, which were the Eden, the Jews, Ha'avarta, you crossed them over. And then again it says, Vayechasu mayim tzereim, the water covered all the enemies, all the bad people. That we say every day in Shachris, after Kriyas Shema, before Shemoneh Esrei. It comes to Ma'ariv after Kriyas Shema, in the paragraphs which we say Ve'emunu kol zeis, there we say Hamavir bonov ben gizri Yamsuf. You Hashem are the one who carried through his children through the splits of the Yam, of the sea. Esreitfeim ve'eseneim, those who were chasing after them and their enemies, Bishoimos tiba, you sunk them, you drowned them in the water there. So we have a Shachris and Ma'ariv. In addition to that, Shachris Shabbos. We add a few paragraphs in the Shachris davening of Shabbos. There we say, in the paragraph beginning, Hoivel Hashem ki toiv, ki lo'olam chazdei, we say, Ligoizer Yamsuf ligzorim, we thank Hashem for splitting the Yamsuf in splits, ki lo'olam chazdei. And then we say, Ve'hever Yisrael b'soichei, you pass through the Eden, through the splits of the sea, and we continue, we continue there saying, V'niyeh parei v'chel b'yamsuf, you sunk Parei and his army in the Yamsuf Kilanim Chazis. We add that in Shabbos davening, Shabbos Shachris. We continue further. In Rosh Chodesh, when we say Hallel, the paragraph of B'tzeis Yisrael, there we say a few psukim. Hayam Ra Vayonos. The sea saw something and ran. We continue. Hayarden to say the Yarden retracted backwards. And we continue. Haharim Rog Duchaelim till the end of the paragraph, all describing Kriyas Yamsuf. That's Rosh Chodesh. Comes to Pesach, we add in Haggadah by the paragraph of Dayenu. We say, Ilu korlo nasayam, if you only had split the sea for us, and you wouldn't carry us out dry, we would have a couple of mud on the floor, it's okay, we would have been saved. But then we say, Ilu if you would have passed us through, and you wouldn't sunk in our enemies in the depth of the waters, also be okay. But you did everything for us. And finally we say, Al achas kama v'kama toivel full muchapelas. As in Mefarshim Taich, each one of the good things that Evry does is not a one good thing, it's a toiva, doubled and quadrupled, muchapelas. And what do we say there? Koralon asayam, you split the yam for us. We went through dry, and you sunk our enemies. So that's a little bit of the places of davening in the Siddur which you mentioned, Kriyas Yamsuf. What actually happened? In the pasuk tells us that there was a dark cloud, a choshech, between the Yidden and the Mitzrayim who were running after them. Why was it necessary to have an choshech between them? Obviously, you would say that they shouldn't see where the Yidden are going and kind of keep them back. But why wouldn't it be the opposite? Let them see that the Eibush is making a miracle for them. Why was the choshech had to be between the Eden and Machane Mitzrayim? Another question is asked. Why does the pasuk say Vayavoyu b'nei Yisrael b'tech they came to the ocean? Usually when we talk about an ocean or water, it's Vayere. They went down because the water level is lower than the dry land. So why do we don't mention Vayere? They came down to the ocean. And then another interesting question. The pasuk says first he made the ocean dry, and then it says Vayibokamai, split the water. It should have been reversed. First he split the water, and then we see the bottom land. Finally, a question. Didn't the Mitzrayim, when they were chasing the Eden, didn't they realize that they're going down to the depth of the ocean? And they wouldn't be afraid that all of a sudden the water's going to come back on them? What happened? So here's a beautiful explanation. I'm putting together a digest of Mefarshim from the Mechilta, Medrashim, and Rishonim. And they say that one of the miracles that happened was that the Tohoim, the bedrock, the bottom of the ocean came up and it became level to the ground. Either the Tohoim, the Karka Tohoim, or the Meah Tohoim, or the water. It came up, so when the Eden were going, they didn't have to go down. They went straight because either the Karka, the bedrock of the water, came up to the level of the dry land, or the water, the bottom part of the water, froze and they were driving straight. They didn't go down. That's one thing. So therefore, what was the reason? We can answer, why was there a choshech? The Eibush did not want that the Mitzrayim should realize that he's making a miracle for them and the bottom of the ocean is coming up or it's becoming frozen, because had they seen that miracle, perhaps they would run away from the Eden. They wouldn't chase into them. Hashem wanted them, they should chase into them, go into the area of the ocean, of the sea, and the water to come back to them. So there was a choshech, that they couldn't see the miracle ahead of them. So when the land came up, or the water froze, on the sides of them were mountains of water to the right and the left. But ahead of them, the water was still going. So the pasuk says in Tehillim, Hayam Ra Vayonos, the Eden were walking. As they were walking, the water ahead of them moved forward. The water was running ahead of them all the way. So the Eden saw a mountain of water froze, and right and left, and ahead of them the waters are running as they were continuing to walk. Now there's the machlokes of the Rishonim when the Mitzrayim come into the Yam Suf only after the last Yid left the Yam Suf, or while the Eden was still in the Yam Suf, some goyim still came into it. So here we have an explanation over here of what happened. Let's explain a little bit what happened. The Yam Suf split. It wasn't a small split. It was a split of the size, the width of Machane Yisrael, which basically was 16 amos, something like 20-25 feet wide. And the Ovid Arnosen tells us it was split into 12 different alleyways. Each shevet had another way to go through, but between each shevet, there was frozen water like a window, so they saw each other going together. So there were millions of people crossing the Yam Suf, but they weren't in a single fire line. There was 12 shvatim passing through together, and they saw each other. They should be able to not be afraid that they're all going together. And there also they had the miracle. One of the miracles happened that the water they wanted to drink turned to sweet water. But it didn't happen that they went through a dry land. They made another miracle, that it was the water became frozen as an archway, as tunnels, and they were going through tunnels with like water on the right, water on the left, and on top as well. That's where they went through the Yam Suf, and they went through the Yam Suf. It wasn't that they crossed the length of the Yam Suf nor the width of the Yam Suf, and they went to the Yam Suf like a semicircle, like a bow. They went into one area, walked in the Yam Suf a certain distance, and came back on the same side. So they're walking in a semicircle into the Yam Suf as well. These are kind of the miracles. The Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos Perek Hey that there were 10 miracles that happened by the Yam Suf. The Rambam, Rashi, Rabbi Tanura, Rabbi Yoina, they all try to enumerate according to the Drash of the Psukim, what was the 10 miracles. It doesn't say in the Chumash what the 10 miracles were, but there was many miracles happening in the Kriyas Yam Suf. And as I mentioned before, some would say that the last Yid left Yam Suf before the Mitzrayim came in. Some say differently. With that, we can answer a question that many Mefarshim ask in the regular daily davening. The regular daily davening, we say something which kind of puzzles us. First it says Yam Suf Lembakaita, you split the water, and V'zeid Dibaita, and then you say right away you sunk in the enemy. After that you say V'didim Avarta, that the Jews passed through. It wasn't like that. First the Jews passed through, then they sunk the enemies. And as you say, they say further on by Chas Ma'im Tzadayim, what went on over here. So there's several explanations. We're going to explain the pshat on the davening. One explanation is that while the Eden was crossing, there's still Eden there crossing. Some goyim were already in the water being split, because when Moshe lifted his mat, his stick, his staff, that the water should come back. The second part, the back part of the Yam Suf, where there was the Mehayam that froze, or the Karkoris Hatoim that came up, it broke in half, and the bottom part sunk in. So automatically they went back. All the Mitzrayim fell down into the water, because that bottom half went back into liquid. So that's what happened. Even though the Eden were not through yet, already the Mitzrayim sunk. A second answer is given, that even though the Eden did not cross through, already the Mitzrayim was starting to sink in the land, in the Yabosha, before the sea. Outside already became muddy, and they started sinking there in the Yabosha before the sea. A third answer is given, that a miracle happened, that once the Eden were leaving Yam Suf, the Yam Suf rose, and it went back to Mitzrayim, pulled all those Mitzrayim that didn't chase after Eden, pulled them in, and started sinking them as well. And the fourth answer is given, a very miracle answer, that perhaps according to the opinion that all the Eden left Yam Suf, and there was some Mitzrayim that were rushing, and they also crossed Yam Suf, and they crossed Yam Suf, and they were behind the Eden. The miracle happened that the Yam Suf rose, pulled those Mitzrayim back into the Yam Suf, and they sunk into the Yam Suf. Now that we're celebrating the Yom Tov of Kriyas Yam Suf, let us be Zoyche, let us have the merit that we should Zeiche to the Gilui, the revelation of Alma de Skasye. There'll be a new world, and with all brachas and no more challenges, will be a new world, totally Bebias Mashiach Tzidkenu.